The plows were packed away for spring, but additional snow has the city changing up its spring game plan. Police are still searching for at least 2 men who robbed 2 gas stations early this morning. And an experience to remember for this little boy who was pilot for the day at the Air National Guard unit.
This is Valley News Live at 6 on KVLY. Now in high definition.
We spent most of the day yesterday crying about it, so now we're just going to deal with it, and it's comical. It is what it is.
Instead of a fleet of street sweepers set to take our roads, snowplows will return from another blast from the winter that won't end. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Stephanie is off. Trucks were already prepped for a flood fight, street sweeping and fixing roads. So the city of Fargo will now be a couple of plow trucks short heading into a weekend storm, but they say they'll still be fully staffed and ready to go. The temperature outside isn't getting any warmer and our heating bills aren't getting any lower. For some families, it's a struggle to make sure the heat stays on throughout the bitter days. Valley News Team's Jennifer Titus shows us how one local organization is pinching their pennies to make sure no one goes cold this spring.
As the snow, along with the temperatures, drop outside.
This is just for one of the case managers in October.
Family Services Director at the Fargo-Moorhead Salvation Army,
4 families that came to her in October,
is trying to make sure everyone stays warm inside.
We have a program here called Heat Share, and that program in particular is designed to help families in need with assistance with their heating.
The problem is they have seen a 20% increase this year for families requesting heat.
That would be for October 2012.
And the funding they received this year through the Heat Share funds was cut in half from last year.
Our Heat Share funds are funds that were given to us through utility companies.
To make sure everyone has heat, they have had to dig into their general fund.
Hundreds of households that have come to the Salvation Army requesting assistance.
The Salvation Army says they're afraid they're going to see even more people seeking help as of Monday, because legally in Minnesota, heating companies can shut people off, leaving many out in the cold.
In the state of Minnesota, utility companies that are regulated by the state, such as Xcel and other utility providers, are not able to disconnect families during the winter months.
But the winter temps have dropped into spring, and the Salvation Army can only hope Mother Nature will bring warmth soon.
And then in that same month,
before funds run out.
We have not turned anyone away. We are concerned that Monday is April 15th.
At the Fargo-Moorhead Salvation Army,
the money that we raise locally, we're committed to spending that money local.
Jennifer Titus, Valley News Live.
And the Salvation Army says they are thankful for the success of this year's Red Kettle campaign and that the general funds are large enough that they can continue to help so many people. New developments tonight in the corruption and embezzlement investigation involving Fargo Teamsters Local 120. The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms is investigating the disappearance of more than $235,000 in alcoholic beverages from the Teamsters, the Fargo Teamsters. A senior Teamsters official also says the Department of Labor and other federal agencies are auditing the Teamsters' financial records. Former Fargo Teamsters manager Todd Chester has been fined by an independent review board for the alleged missing booze. An official at the Teamsters headquarters in Washington says federal criminal charges are expected when the investigation is completed. Police are looking for at least 2 men after 2 early morning robberies in South Fargo. The 2 holdups happened within 2 hours of each other, and police are trying to determine if the cases are connected. The first happened around 5 a.m. at this store, the Petro Serve Station on South University Drive in Fargo. Police say 2 black men had their faces covered with scarves. They told the clerk that they had a weapon, then took off with cash from the register. About 2 hours later, a black man covering his face with a T-shirt walked into the All Stop off of 13th Avenue South, also saying he had a weapon and got away with some cash. In both cases, police say there were tracks leading from the store to getaway vehicles nearby. Police in Grand Forks are looking for a woman who stole a TV from a convenience store last night. Just after 9:30, an employee at the Stay Mart at 47th Street said this woman took a flat screen from inside the store and left. 2 employees confronted her, but she got into a vehicle, backed into one of them, and drove off. Now, police described the woman as white, in her 40s with blonde hair, wearing a black jacket with white lettering on it, drove away in a blue Chrysler PT Cruiser with a spoiler on the back of it. The employee was taken to Altru Hospital with injuries. Anyone that might have any information is asked to call the Grand Forks Police Department. The phone number is on your screen, 701-787-8000. Now, if you notice something suspicious happening in your neighborhood and don't know what to do, our advice is to call our whistleblower hotline. We'll do our best to get the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work in an attempt to expose the truth. Sandbag Central went into standby mode this afternoon. The volunteer effort was a huge success, reaching the million sandbag goal last night. With crews already scheduled for today, it was kept open. We're told that the final count, 1,081,200 sandbags. All of the equipment will remain in place just in case the city needs to fill more bags later on. Half of those sandbags will be used in the rural areas of Cass County, the other half within the city of Fargo. Despite having enough sandbags to dike for at least a 38-foot crest, the city of Fargo is tapping into additional ones in case the flooding is worse than expected. There are 750,000 bags stored at the compost site in North Fargo. They're leftovers from the 2011 flood fight. The bags were stacked, professionally tarped to prevent the sunlight from destroying them. And although they are outside, the city says most of them are not frozen and ready to go.
Our first deployment of sandbags will be our inside heated, completely thawed out sandbags, and then if and when the second phase of deployment occurs, we think those sandbags that are stored outside will be ready.
If there is a need for more sandbags, the city is prepared to take any frozen bags inside to thaw. Well, crews are also busy getting ready for a big event at the Fargo Dome this weekend. It's the 62nd annual Shrine Circus. We caught a sneak peek of its big acts today, including this playful 9-month-old tiger named Dale. There's also the crowd favorites, including clowns and jugglers.
Well, it's going to be great fun. I mean, all the novelties and, swords that light up and cotton candy and snow cones and glasses that light up. The kids will have a blast. They always do.
There are 6 performances that will run through Sunday. Tickets range from $12 to $17. They can be purchased at the Fargo Dome box office. If you're happening to be going on the noon show on Sunday, look for me. I'll be the honorary ringmaster. Later on Valley News Live at 6, a 7-year-old with a rare form of cancer will share his story about becoming pilot for a day. Many kids dream of the chance to be a pilot, even if it's just for a day. I know I did. Today, a 7-year-old boy from Glaston, North Dakota got to suit up and train with North Dakota's own Happy Hooligans. Valley News Team's Eric Kress got to follow the young man as he proved he's got the right stuff.
It was pretty exciting when he got his flight suit. He put it on, he looked into the mirror, and he didn't say anything, but he just started giggling.
Let me introduce General Samuel Green. At just 7 years old, he's already been promoted to top rank by the North Dakota Air National Guard.
I thought they were just kidding.
He's a fighter, not just proven when the Guard threw him in the cockpit of a flight simulator.
He shoot at tanks and airplanes.
What happened when he shot him?
They blew up.
But also a fighter in real life. For the past 15 months, he's been battling DSRCT, a rare, extremely aggressive form of cancer.
He spent a lot of time in hospitals, and for a lot of the last 15 months has been his home. So getting out here and doing this is very exciting, and thankfully he's healthy enough to participate fully.
We're giving him an opportunity to not think about that. We take him on base. We let him learn everything military, everything aviation, and not think about anything he's gone through, because he's been through a lot.
A lot for anyone to endure. But at just 7 years old, this little man... Which badge do you think is the coolest?
This one.
Can sum up his day as general for the Happy Hooligans in one word.
Crazy.
It's all pretty exciting for a 7-year-old.
So if you walk into General Green in his hometown of Glaston, North Dakota, address him formally and know you are truly dealing with one of the toughest fighters around. And he's not done fighting yet.
We want to let them know that when they grow up, when they beat whatever they're dealing with, we want to focus on them getting through what they're doing so they can focus on the future and what life has in store for them.
In Fargo, Eric Kress, Valley News Live.
Samuel Green just wrapped up his chemo treatments that have been ongoing for more than a year. The best news of all in this story, we're told that the cancer has gone into remission. So to Samuel and his family, we wish you folks the very best.
General Samuel.
Excuse me. I've been following the golf tournament. Interesting stuff happening in Augusta, Georgia.
Definitely a lot of ups and downs. Some bad luck for Tiger Woods. We'll tell you what happened to him coming up soon here in sports. The youngest player ever to tee it up at the Masters got a rude welcoming to Augusta on the tournament's second day. 14-year-old Tin Long Guan was assessed a one-stroke penalty at the 17th hole for slow play. Now, he almost missed the cut because of the penalty, but he's still alive. Tiger Woods roared up the board into first place, but had a little bad luck as his approach shot hit the pin and dropped into the water. He is now moved down into fourth. Both Woods and Jason Day are still playing, and Day trying to take sole possession of first place. Highlights tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, the Heisman of Hockey, the Hobie Baker Award, was presented today at the Frozen Four to Drew LeBlanc of St. Cloud State. LeBlanc returned from a compound left leg fracture last season to captain the Huskies to their first Frozen Four appearance, while also leading the nation in assists with 37. The talented senior is the first St. Cloud State player to win the Hobie Baker and the 16th from a WCHA team.
Coming back this year, you know, this is one of those things where there's no way it could happen to you, right? And to be up here and with all the support out there, I mean, it's an unreal moment for me. I'm humbled, honored, blessed to be representing Hobie Baker and what he stands for.
LeBlanc was also the WCHA's Student Athlete of the Year. In local hockey news, Danny Cristo and Corbin Knight have been named to the 2012-13 CCM Division I All-Americas by the American Hockey Coaches Association. Cristo was named the All-American West First Team, while Knight garnered All-American West Second Team honors. The Summit League baseball doubleheader between North Dakota State and Oakland has been canceled because of rain. The teams were scheduled to play today, and that game was postponed until Saturday, but the field is not playable. NDSU is scheduled to play a noon doubleheader at Fort Wayne on Sunday. And if you look out your window right now, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise to hear that the Bison baseball home opener scheduled next Wednesday against Mayville State, well, that's been canceled due to snow. It will not be made up. Well, tempers flared last night as the LA Dodgers and San Diego Padres emptied their benches twice after a player got plunked. Dodgers starter Zach Greinke, who signed a 6-year, $147 million deal with the club in the offseason, hit Padres outfielder Carlos Quentin on a 3-2 pitch in a one-run game. Now, Greinke claims it was an accident. Quentin rushed the mound, and while defending himself, the 2009 Cy Young winner lowered his shoulder and broke his left collarbone. So the Dodgers' big offseason acquisition is out several weeks. Quentin and 2 other hitters were ejected. Not exactly the old Nolan Ryan where you get him in the headlock and pluck him a couple times, but tough break for Greinke.
Ouch, in more ways than one.
For sure.
Still to come tonight, a moose becoming quite the tourist attraction in a northern Red River Valley town. And Hutch returns with your evening weather planner. An unexpected tourist attraction has wandered into the town of Crookston, Minnesota. A moose has been hanging around the town for the past few weeks. It's become a bit of a tourist attraction as people make roadside stops to take a look at one of Mother Nature's larger creations. Wow. Ross Heyer of the DNR says they had to chase her away from a few locations in town, but overall, she's in good shape. She hopes that they're hoping that she'll move along to a more remote location once the weather warms up. That's the caveat here, is once the weather moves up.
She'll be around for a while.
In other news, polar bears were sighted.
Oh, my.
You don't want that.
No.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll keep you posted on the snow that's expected our way, and have a good evening.